just to remind me, sometimes it takes courage to do things against the grain, to look at it from a different point of view. So anyway, this is one of my, value, probably $20, but to me, priceless. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, one of the whole purposes of this course was to have people look at things from a different point of view. I'd like to just complete this here, this handout. Let's talk about precession, and this is in the last few pages. Precession is when you drop a stone in the water, and that's precession, okay? So, Blair and I used to study this a lot. But if you have a chance to read that article, and we used to group study it and all this, after I studied that on precession, I wanted to find out if there was a God. Pay attention, please, okay? Because what Bucky said he stopped doing is in the back of that article. He stopped working for money entirely. He had a wife and a kid. He said, I'll never work for money again. And if I was doing what God wanted him to do, money was processional. Money came from this direction, not this direction. So what happens for most people is they're spending their lives going this way after money versus this way. So if you have time, study that thing on precession. It's one of the most important generalized principles of Fuller I ever studied. So I only did things because, like he says, you go into action, you have to do something. People who don't do anything or stay stuck, there's no precession. And so we used to think about the honeybee goes after honey, but its true purpose is precessional, is to cross-pollinate. That was the whole thing. So when Fuller said, I think it was in 1927, he stopped working for money entirely. And he said if he was doing what God really wanted him to do, money would come in. So that's why when I met Kim in 1984, I had read that article, so if you don't want to screw your life up too much, don't read it. But once I understood precession, I could never work for money again. And to the point where I didn't care about it. Not that I don't care about it, but I couldn't work for it. So in 1984, that's when Kim and I took the leap of faith. And we said, if we're doing what God wants us to do, money would come in. And if we're off track, money would not come in. So money was God's way of telling us, or mistakes, or whatever it was, we're off track or on track. So when I talked to Fuller's daughter, Allegra Fuller, his first daughter died. And the second daughter, she said it was really tough because they'd have breakfast and then Dad would never go to work, Bucky. And he would sit there and he'd play with tetrahedrons. He'd get little, dried peas, and he'd make tetrahedrons and triangles and all this. But he only did what he did for the highest advantage of others. And they said if he kept doing that, and he was on track, money would come in. That was precession. So 1984, when I met Kim, I said, well, 84, I'm going to jump. I'm going to sell my factory. I'm not going to make any more wallets, and I'm going to find out if there's God. And Kim says, I'll go with you.